chat box and I will be answering those queries. I'm an Indian counselor as well as an abroad education counselor. So, I have catered right from 8th grade students come to me. And when it comes to the complete guidance, I do give them until that goes up to PhD level. So we have sent a lot of students for PhD as well. So each and every query will be resolved. And at the same time, a lot of misconceptions would also be cleared. So first of all, the first topic, like, since there is undergrad student, there are a lot of graduate students. I'm sure there would be some or other confusion in your mind. So the first topic which I would like to take is how to choose your career exactly. So, there might be certain things that whether I should go for finance, whether I should go for marketing, what should I be choosing ideally after 12th, which course should I choose? Should I choose BMM? Should I choose BMS? Should I go abroad? So there are a lot of confusions like regarding the majors or maybe for the masters. So then what exactly is the way out of this, that how you should ideally be choosing your career? So the first aspect which is to be considered while choosing your career is the interest, is where you can become an expert. See, understand one thing, guys, that competition is really intense everywhere in the world. Competition is very intense. So it's very much important and essential to become expert in your field. Whatever field you are choosing, you need to make sure that you are an expert. Okay, that's extremely important, that if I'm going to XYZ field, I know for the fact that I can, beat the competition, and I will be the one who is successful amongst good 100 or 200 people. So you should have that confidence. And how do you build up that confidence? When you are passionate about what you are doing, when you are interested about what you are doing. So it's very important that you are interested in that particular field. Value nahi hai, weightage nahi hai. I totally understand those are certain terminologies which is used, that this is more valued over this. It's not about value or weightage, it's about where you think you can become an expert. Always remember that. Okay, so it's very important that you basically, it will be great, guys, if you can just switch off your audio. uh yeah.
एक मीटिंग चल रहा है
Aditya,
Yeah,
can you just
thank you.
mute them? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's very important that you are an expert in whatever field you are taking. So how do you determine where I'm an expert? So that would be your next question, that I don't know where I'm an expert. So there, understand one thing, there are always ways of internships, doing courses on Coursera, EDX, MOOCs, doing internships. All these things are very important. Okay, how you can understand where exactly I am interested in. So guys, internship starts right after 10th or 11th. You guys are in RC, Road Track Club of Powai. I totally understand. That is also one very good step. So here, if you are very, good at getting sponsors, you can be a very good marketeer. So that means you can major in marketing. So understand, you have to realize that point, that where am I good at? Okay, so for example, there would be a financial statement or something finance related in our, Road Track Club only. Someone who's very good at calculation, someone who's really good at numbers, they can definitely, land into the field of finance. But your research is very important, guys. So it should not be based on someone else's research, some friend's research. You have to go ahead, Google a bit, look at the courses, study some of the courses in Coursera, EDX, MOOCs. These are some free websites where you can do certain courses which is totally free. Okay, so that will increase your knowledge base, and that will also help you build your profile. And at the same time, it will help you understand what your interests exactly are. Okay, so you should be going ahead with these kind of stuffs, and along with that, you can even pursue internship. Even if it is an unpaid internship, it's totally fine, but try for it. There are websites for that as well. There is a website called Internshala. There is a website called Intern Theory, Frap. All these are some of the websites where you just have to put your CV and you need to try to get internships. Guys, I have a lot of undergrad students with me who are planning to go abroad in some of the top universities in USA. They have already, at the age of 16 or 17, 16, I would say, they have already done almost 3 to 4 internships. They have done a lot of social service activity. They have gone abroad and researched under some professor. So they have so much in their, CV. It's a 3-pager CV for a 16-year-old. So if they can do, then why you guys cannot? It is very important to build your work profile. I totally understand that academics is something which is very important. I totally get that. But along with being good at academics, it's very important that you are basically good at non-academical stuff as well. So even the road track club, what you are a part of, is a very good thing. You need to make sure that you are here contributing to the club. You should not be just coming here to, just have fun. That is one aspect, but you have to make sure that you contribute, then only you will learn. And then only you will realize that where you are good at. So in road track club itself, there might be creatives which are made. Someone who's really good at making creatives, they can get into, designing field. So that's how you have to understand that where you are good at, and accordingly do your research and accordingly choose the career. So that's how the path is. Where you are interested, whether it is practically viable to be in that path. So somewhere I personally believe practical viability is also important. Psychology as a whole is not very popular in India. So scope kya hai aage? So I understand that you are very interested in marine, or you are very interested in, maybe fisheries or something, some random course. But you have to understand that whether uska scope hai India mein, there are, good scope. If yes, if there's a tick mark, there's no go, like, other way around. You should be understanding the interest aspect. You should be understanding the practical viability. You need to research thoroughly, and you need to go ahead with that career option. Okay, so that's how the particular career is chosen. So now there might be a lot of people who would be thinking that we have already taken, marketing. What about us? Guys, there, understand one thing. If you are not liking a particular area, whether you are doing your BMM, BMS, BCom, whatever it is, and you feel that, I'm not really made for this, you are very sure about that, I'm not interested into it, there is always a master's degree. Masters, if you would be knowing, a lot of people do it from abroad, masters. So there you can simply change your course by doing a master's in a particular area. Okay, why? Because masters itself, the definition, is basically specialization in one area, and they teach it from the scratch. So I have so many qualified CAs, they are getting into designing field. They are getting into, marketing field, marketing analytics, masters in marketing analytics. Then, I have students who are from computer science and engineering background. So guys, please switch off your audio. It will be a kind request from my side. Yeah. So there are a lot of students from computer science background, engineering background. They are getting into designing field. They are getting into finance. Totally possible if you do a master's. So please, guys, if you feel that I'm stuck somewhere, what should I do next? There's always a master's degree which you can pursue. Okay. And there are always way out on how you can do something different. And I personally believe internship plays a very important role. Wherever you feel that there are a lot of students, I have at least this time, I have at least 5 to 6 engineers planning for sports management. But then that thing is not something which is random. They were interested into it. Then they came for counseling, and I just suggested them one thing: do some internship. Do some internship in the sports management area. Try to get something, understand whether you are exactly interested in this or not, or it is just something which is very random. Out of nowhere you are thinking that I want to become a sports manager, I want to get into sports management. So I asked them to do internship. I asked them to, host certain events for sports, how good you are, and based on that, do your masters in sports management. Understanding. So you have to basically choose your course accordingly. And very much, even if you are doing undergraduate, you are fixed your undergraduate, it's very much, possible that you can change your course by doing a master's. Okay, in a lot of countries masters are available, and it's not necessary that you stay there permanently. You just work for 2 3 years and come back to India. That's also possible. That's not an issue at all. So I guess I have covered the topic of how to choose your career. Just to sum up, I would say that, you need to basically, you know understand your interest. A. B. See the practical viability. C. Research thoroughly. D. Go ahead and choose your, whatever degree is suitable for it. So that's how the particular career is required to be chosen. And guys, one more misconception which I would like to highlight over here is, there are a lot of people who feel a little fearful about the unconventional courses, that this is something which is not very prevalent. How can we take it? But that is not how you have to choose your career. Unconventional courses are, accepted, and it's in demand as well, because in particular field which is very conventional, there is lot of supply and very less of demand these days. So it's always important, and it's always, suggested that you choose something unconventional. so that the competition which you have to deal with is little lesser and the chances for you to become successful is more. So it can be any unconventional field. It can be video editing, it can be animation, it can be, any you can get into advertising firm and be an advertiser. So there are a lot of areas. You can be an economist, lot of areas, but you need to explore yourself. You can't be, sitting at home and, wondering that what should I do? Can I become an economist? But what have you done in economics? Have you done something? No. So you have to go there and start working towards it. Start working towards your ideas and your interest. And based on that, you can understand. And please welcome and accept all the unconventional courses. Okay, the time has changed totally where, you were only choosing doctor, engineering, CA. The time has totally gone. So right now, I have students who do majors in economics and public policy. I have students who have done majors in business analytics. Very different courses people are taking, students are taking, and they are very successful in them. So please make sure that you at least consider. I'm not saying that you should go ahead only with unconventional. If you are good at something which is conventional, please go ahead with that. But try accept the fact that there are unconventional options also available with you, and based on that, try to choose and try to decide for that matter. Understood? Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yes, Sparsh, thank you for saying that. You can put your questions in the chat box. Definitely, I'll be answering those. Okay. Now, coming to the part of how to choose your career, I have covered. Now, I would like to highlight the part of what exactly is abroad education. What are the stages of it? Okay. So, what are the entrance exam required? What is the cost? I'm sure you guys would be wondering all these things. So, let me, highlight all these things. So first is, undergrad. Let me just start with undergrad education abroad. When it comes to undergraduate education, especially in the US and UK, because that is a global degree. And when it comes to undergrad, I usually, prefer students to take a global degree. You can even choose Canada, Australia for that matter. That's not an issue. But US, UK is one major, two major destination where undergraduate degree can be taken. So flexibility aspect. There's little disturbance.
I'm just gonna put mute all and then I'll unmute you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So the flexibility aspect when it comes to undergraduate education in abroad countries is way more when it comes to India. India is more theoretical. Okay, there are autonomous universities which are doing really well. That is maybe NMIMS or Symbiosis. Then there is Ashoka University. They are doing extremely well because the portion is very practical. But when it comes to abroad education, the flexibility to choose different majors, minors is terrific. So students choose random, like whatever their interest is, based on that they would be choosing, and they would be making a wise decision as well, because they would be learning those and then choosing whether they want to do their majors in that or not. I have students doing marketing and business analytics. I have students, pursuing anthropology and public policy, various, combo. I have students who is doing a major in biology along with that public health. Wonderful combo. So based on that, they have that flexibility when it comes to undergraduate. Yes, when it comes to undergraduate abroad, it is expensive. It is very expensive. So affordability is one very big aspect which you need to consider. So when it comes to US, the cost may go up to 1.5 to 2 crores for 4 years undergrad. Okay, and US undergrad education is a different ball game altogether, where people come to us right from 9th and 10th grade in order to how to build their profile, because US universities would look at the profile, will look at the SAT score, SAT scores. They will look for their, for your scores overall from ninth grade. They will look at that aspect and how you can contribute to the university. The essay part, the essays are also very important. So all these aspects are considered, and based on that, the admit is given when it comes to undergrad education. So, it's a different ball game, but you get that kind of exposure, guys. Very good, very nice exposure. Two aspects are to be considered. One is the affordability, because it is very expensive. Okay, it goes up to 1.5 to 2 crores, 35 to 40 lakhs per year, I would say, along with living expenses is what you would be, spending. You get also that kind of return once you get a job after 4 years. After 4 years, when you start your job, your first salary would be, good crore. So then the return on investment part is too good, but then initially you may have to spend that much. Okay. And it's very important that you are mature enough to handle yourself at the tender age of 17. So that is also one of the aspect to be considered for pursuing undergrad education abroad. There is also, so in case you want to lower your cost, you feel that this is too expensive, you can go for UK as well. UK will end up in 80 to 90 lakhs. UK is also very good, very famous for management courses, very famous for marketing. I would say management is the most famous in UK. Even physiotherapy, physical therapy course is very famous in UK. I have students for that, and it's more flexible than US, I would say. So management related course, business related course, finance related course. So, it's very famous in UK. So you can pursue your undergraduate education over there. The cost would come around, I would say, 80 to 90 lakhs. It's a 3 years, major 3 years bachelor's what you pursue. And UK does not have this much of, requirement as such. SAT is not required. Only IELTS is sufficient. They will look at your grades altogether and profile, obviously. So when it comes to LSE London, LSE King's College London, then Imperial College UCL, they will look at your overall profile as well. They don't require an SAT score. Something which you want an easier way out. Additionally, you feel that I don't want to, get into the entire SAT thing, and it's expensive as well. So 80-90 lakhs mein aapka UK ka ho sakta hai, because it's a 3 years bachelor's. Okay, especially someone who is in IGCSE A level, someone, if IGCSE ke baad they are doing A levels, for them UK is even better. They do give preference, I would say, to A levels because it's their kind curriculum. Okay, so I have one doubt. Let me clear that. Which country is very good for animation courses? Okay, so when it comes to animation, what is the name of this student? Yeah, when it comes to animation, Isha, I would personally suggest two countries. One is USA and second is Australia. Both are pretty good for animation. US is the best because the film, basically animation courses form the part of film schools. Okay, usually forms a part of design school or film school. It's a creative thing. So US has some of the top film schools and top design schools. It is an expensive course as well, but it is definitely good. India is also very good, by the way. Animation related, you can, study over here. It's just that the scope in India is little limited when it comes to animation, because there are not many animated movies. But when it comes to US, about DC, Marvel, so animators are paid enormously well. So I personally believe animation may you can pursue, take a master's in, if you are an graduate student already, then master's in communication design. They have animation as a option, like as one of the concentrations, and you can go ahead with that animation. There are specifically film schools who provide masters in animation also. You can be there also. If you want something holistic, then masters in communication design. I hope I have cleared your query, Isha. Guys, whatever it is, you have to start your process 1 year earlier. Whatever it is, be it undergraduate, be it masters, be it MBA, 1 to 1.5 year pehle, you have to make sure that you take the counseling. Okay, so that is something which is important. It's not like that 6 months pehle main aunga and easily the process is done. 1 year pehle application window open ho jata hai. So before that, you even have to give the entrance exam of GRE, GMAT, SAT, whatever it is. And based on that, the complete profile is built, essays, SOPs, letters of recommendation, each and everything is built, and then you have to apply. And earlier you apply, better are the chances. Always remember. Okay, to get an admit, to get scholarship as well. Someone has asked me about scholarship as well. So earlier you apply, better it is. So 1.5 years before you need to come. When it comes to undergrad student, whenever you have passed your 10th, it's a right time for you to come for the counseling. Okay, so that is something which you need to understand. You cannot be a late bird, you have to be an early bird only. So 1.5 years. So basically, when it comes to abroad education, my first abroad counseling session is free. So you can definitely book an appointment, and I will just drop my number also here. So my name is Vinny Shamudan. I will be answering all your queries. Don't worry. This is my number. When it comes to career counseling, I do charge for the session. So if someone is really confused about your career and someone who wants a complete idea about the various options available for them, you can definitely take the career counseling session as well. It includes all the abroad opportunities and everything. And basically we give a comprehensive career path. So definitely this is my number. I was to the fact that how you should be starting early. That is very important. And yes, if you are more for PR centric, if you want to stay over there like permanently, you don't want to come to India, and that is for sure, then you can choose Canada and you can choose Australia. Both are really PR friendly countries. And when it comes to Canada as a whole, all the management courses are also very good. Engineering courses are also very good. So you can go over there. It's one of the hot favorite these days. And but then it's very PR centric country. So if Canadian degree ke saath you come to India, the weightage won't be that much. You would rather take a US or UK degree. It's more global. Someone who wants to experience a different culture altogether, they can go to Europe as well. And Europe education is cheap. So you can try for Germany, you can try for Netherlands, you can try for Switzerland. Very good. Very, very good. So, you will be experiencing the different culture. Uh, Language is one of the barrier. You need to learn that language, but European culture altogether, someone who is really interested to do something different, they can go for Europe as well. And someone who's on a budget as well. So there are amazing B schools in Europe. If you know France, mein INSEAD Paris, HEC Paris, all these are very, very popular. Someone, just hold on, really sorry. So someone who's really interested in marketing, France is very famous. Someone who's really interested in fashion, fashion, then Milan, Italy is very famous. London is very famous. London School of Fashion is really popular. Someone who's very interested in patisserie, bakery, they can go to Paris. Le Cordon Bleu, that is very famous. So, different countries have different speciality, different universities based on your interest. Definitely, you can go ahead with the same. Okay, even Germany has a lot of good B schools. When it comes to France, there is, I gave you some of the names, it's very famous. Even, Switzerland has it, Netherlands has it. Very, very good. Netherlands has a very popular school named Rotterdam Business School. Very popular. So all these are a bit cheaper comparatively. Not very cheap because these are very good universities, but a bit cheaper when it comes to Europe. You have to learn a language for that. Okay, Netherlands mein Dutch, France mein French. Someone who has a flair of particular language, they can also go over there. So I had a student who was really interested in French language, and he was interested in management as a whole. So he took masters in management from ISEC Business School. ISEC Business School had an exchange program at Switzerland, like one of the university at Switzerland. So he completed his one semester in Switzerland, and right now he's working in maybe London. So it's all very different. If you want to experience, you can definitely go for Europe. Otherwise, if you want to target the top B schools, US, UK, hands down. Okay, and if you are PR centric, then Canada, Australia. Understood? I will be just clearing the queries. I will get to the masters and MBA part as well. Rohan Nagpal is asking me, I've heard that job prospects are lower in UK. Will you still recommend for postgrad course? Now, Rohan, what has happened is now there is a 2-year stay back after the completion of the course. First, why the job prospect was low? Because you had to come back to your home country immediately after the completion of the course. And hence the job prospects were a little low. But now when it comes to UK, there is a 2-year stay back. So hence I do recommend. See, understand, everywhere in the world, job prospects would be a little low only for immigrants. Citizens are always given more preference. You have to make sure that you are skilled enough, you are capable enough to take their place. So you have to crack the interview. You have to show that you have those required skill set, and you will get the job 100%. Okay, so I do recommend because there is a 2-year stay back now. To answer your query, I hope I've cleared your doubt, Rohan. Kevin is asking me, so let's suppose in a specific university where a particular course or degree is preferably good, but the companies in that particular country doesn't demand that country degree or course. So does that situation arrive in the countries? I personally believe, the course need to be famous in that country. You cannot be going to pursue something random in something random only. So if you want to do psychology, just go to Switzerland. It doesn't make sense. You have to take some prevalent course, like, you know for the fact that this country is famous for that. See, Germany is very good for automobiles. So hence, there are so many engineers who are going over there. It's very good for engineering related courses. So you can't be going for random courses in random countries. So choose a country which you know for the fact that it is famous for that particular thing, because you are completely deciding your career based on that. So you cannot be taking risks. So it has to be a prevalent course in that country. Then only you should ideally be going. Okay. And when the course is prevalent, obviously there are good companies available, hence the course is prevalent. Okay, Kevin, I hope I have cleared your queries. Someone had asked me about, yes, Henna had asked me about the scholarship, undergraduate. There are scholarships, Henna. There are a lot of scholarships which are available. There is something called as a CSS profile when it comes to USA, wherein, you have to declare your assets and liabilities. And based on that, they give scholarships to international students. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. Based on your profile, based on a lot of aspects, they would be giving the scholarships. There is merit-based scholarship also. A lot of my students have got presidential scholarships. We apply separately and they do get, but understand it's never guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. And you have to basically, understand or expect 25 to 30% of your tuition fees for scholarship, not more than that. International students is the main way how they earn money. So, comparatively, the options, for scholarship for international students is also a bit limited. Okay, so there are scholarship opportunities. We can 100% try for it, but it's not 100% guaranteed. That's what my entire thing is. A lot of students get it. I would say around 50 to 60% get scholarship also, but not more than 25 to 30%. So that is something which you have to understand. Unless and until your assets and liabilities, CSS profile ke through, you can get up to 70% as well. So that depends how things go about. Okay, but you can on an average expect a 25-30% waiver in tuition fees. Okay, I hope I've cleared your doubt, Hannah. Sparsh is asking me, okay, there's one question. First of all, what is PR centric? Very good question, Punita. So PR is basically permanent residency. If you want to become a citizen in that particular country, you know for the fact that you don't want to come back. So Canada and Australia are more immigrant friendly. They will keep you. Whereas US and UK do not give citizenship very easily. So that is what I'm trying to say. PR centric countries are basically Canada and Australia. Even Ireland is good country. It's very good for digital marketing. It's very good for IT, I would say. Anything related to IT, Ireland is also very famous, and it is also PR centric. It gives 5 years. If you work 6 years, you get that, PR. And it's an English spoken country as well, Ireland. It's very near to UK. Yeah, Sparsh is asking that with Brexit and new college work policies, will UK be easier to find jobs? As I said, Sparsh, I had previously also told that all depends on how good you are. Always, you have to make sure that do the networking very well, make relevant contacts, then you grab the right opportunities. You have to be always be on toes when it comes to an abroad country, especially UK. You can't be just laid back and you just feel that opportunity will come on my way. You have to grab the opportunities. You have to go here and there to find opportunities. Then only you will get one. But if you are good at what you are doing, you are totally skilled, you have paid attention throughout your course, and you are having good relevant contacts, I am sure that there won't be any point where you will not be getting a job. So just focus on yourself. Automatically, things will fall in place. Understood? Zalak is asking me which country is good for finance courses. USA, New York, very famous. London, UK is very famous for finance. US, UK, hands down for finance courses. Okay. Shruti is asking me if one completes a course in, say, France, can they apply in a job anywhere? Yeah, you can. You can, but usually what happens is that आपने French degree ली है, right? So France में तो काम करो, 1-2 years work in France, and then you can go anywhere else. Ideally, that should be the thing, because French degree आपने ली है, तो it will be more having weightage in their country, right? So that's why it's ideal. आप 1-2 साल at least वहाँ पे काम करो, and then you can, go ahead and pursue in Europe. Yes, there are students who do it. I have a student who pursued in France only, and then right now he's working in Denmark. He's working in Denmark, the graphic designing. So, these things happen. So it's very much possible, but first work in their country. That's something which you need to understand. Kevin is asking me your thoughts on education in Norway or Scandinavian countries. Not really, because I understand Norway is also free education. By the way, guys, German education, if you're wanting to pursue masters, it is free. There is no fee for international students. You need to have a good profile, but a 9-pointer or 8-pointer is something which is required. So no fee at all, but you need to learn German language. Very important over there. It's as if we are speaking English over here. In that country, you need to talk in German language. So if you're okay with that, you can go for German university, and it is good. Someone who is wanting to do engineering, mechanical engineering or something, even computer science is very popular, mechatronics very popular. So automobiles, Germany is a very good thing. And even management, I do not prefer that much, but there are 3 very big business schools over there if you want to do your MBA. uh, Otto Bischheim, ESMT, then which is the third school, Mannheim Business School. How can I forget? It's one of the best business schools in Germany. So you can do from there. Norway is also free. Norwegian education is also free. That is a very popular university, University of Oslo. I do not prefer that, because first of all you have to talk in Norwegian, and there is a lot of it's winter over there. So I personally believe from India, it might be a very big cultural difference overall if you go for Norway or Scandinavian countries, Finland or something of that sort. The cost is low, I understand, but you may not like your life overall over there. So hence, I will not prefer. Tanmay is asking me, is US CPA worth doing in India? No, it's not at all worth doing in India. आप वहां पे जाओ, masters आप करो, you will get that visa basically. And साथ you can do your CPA. If you do it from here, it will not be like that, US people will call you and give you the job. There are so many US CPAs, they are here only, working in India only. So it's not worth. You can do your masters, you will get the F1 visa, like so that you can work over there, and then you can do simultaneously CPA so that you can get the job opportunity in US, and then you can come back 3-4 years, work over there, earn good money, have that exposure, come back. Chandani Singh is asking, what postgrad courses are good for students interested in general management? MBA, Chandani, hands down. Guys, just to clear, since she has asked, I would like to throw some light on what MBA course is. So many a time students are confused only what MBA. People from second year only start studying for CAT. That is not the way how MBA is meant to be studied. MBA is I'll give you the definition. MBA is a postgraduate degree which teaches you how to do business, and it's a degree for professionals who are already an expert at what they are doing. Understanding? So at least how you become an expert by gaining work experience. So at least a work experience of 1 to 2 years is minimum required. When it comes to abroad universities for MBA, minimum work experience of 2 to 3 years is required. Then only the criteria matches. They have fixed criteria. Why? Because the degree demands that. The entire degree ka matlab hi wahi hai that it is meant for professionals. It is not meant for freshers. So please, guys, do not start studying in your second year and third year CAT and all. Do not. Focus on your undergrad degree. Focus on your work. Then start studying for the, whatever you want to do further. Your GMAT, or you want to give your CT, you want to give your CAT. Start studying later. First, be an expert at what you are doing. And MBA is a generic degree. A doctor can pursue it. A sports person can pursue it. A marketer can pursue. A economist can pursue. Anyone who is willing to do business, they want to learn business, they can do MBA. Understood? I have a physics PhD student right now enrolled with me who is planning for doing MBA in some of the top business schools in the world. Physics, and very good work experience, but now he's not interested in research anymore, and hence he wants to do business, and he has a very good business idea, but for that he needs to, do some degree. So that's why he's doing MBA. So that is the intensity what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell you. Okay. 1 second. A lot of doubts. So MBA is very good in case you don't want to take work experience. Chandani, MIM, Masters in Management. So that is good. Sparsh is asking, would learning be required before the application or after we go over there? Before the application you can do. Once you get an admit, at least you give the Goite certification for A1 and A2, Sparsh. That is something which is required. I suggested, not required, suggested. There it's very essential to learn. Your job will also be dependent on how well you speak in German language. So that is the intensity. Please learn German language. Before you go, at least A1, A2, Goethe certifications are suggested, recommended. Pawan is asking me which country is more preferable for MPharm and MBA courses. Pharmacy, UK, US, hands down. MPharm, there's a joint course you are saying. So this joint course is available only in USA. MPharm, like Masters in Pharmacy plus MBA. There are a lot of joint courses, so you can pursue it from USA. If you want to do masters in pharmaceutical science or masters in, pharmacology, then pharmacoeconomics, there are a lot of pharmacy related courses. So you can do it from US, UK, both are popular. Mahi is asking that what is the scope of MSc Global Supply Chain Management in US? Which one is better? US, Canada, Europe? All three. US, Europe better than Canada. All in terms of job prospects only I'm saying. USA, Europe, Canada for supply chain management. Europe is also very good for supply chain. I had one student who did it from Copenhagen, University of Copenhagen, that is Denmark, supply chain management. If you want something more global, you can do it from USA. There is Purdue University, which is very famous for SCM. Okay. So I hope you have cleared your doubt. So 2 countries, USA, Europe, and then Canada. One second, there are a lot of queries. Which country is good for further studies in media industry? There's masters in media management, Kartavi. Media management, UK. UK would be preferred. Kevin Jani is asking which country is good for engineering management? Where engineering management is born, USA. Dartmouth College is very famous, Kevin. Very, very famous. We had our admits for engineering management this year from Dartmouth. We had it from Columbia. We had it from Duke. So, hands down USA, it's the place where engineering management degree itself was born. AS85 is asking, is MBA after practicing law for 2-3 years? Yes, why not? You can do law, MBA can be done, very much possible, and very good combo as well. 2-3 years of work experience being a lawyer, and now you want to do MBA. Very much possible. Please go ahead. You will get certain very good jobs. Okay. Zalak is asking, which courses in India can be done? We can do in finance and then go abroad for job opportunities. For undergrad, Zalak, I would say BAF, BSc Finance from NMIMS. There is BFM, Bachelors of Financial Markets. So these are some of the, courses. Guys, always understand, research on the courseworks. That's very important. Research on what you are going to be taught in those 3 years, so that you are able to make a better call. So BAF, BFM, BSc Finance, all three are pretty good courses which you can do in India, and then you can do for your masters. Between you can do CFA as well, so that I would be preferring. But CFA can also be done later after your masters or while you are doing your job. It can be done. Bhuvana is asking me, is work experience really important for doing MBA? The entire motive, entire meaning of MBA is that work experience wale jo students hai, unko hum business karna sikhaye. So it is an essential and it's a prerequisite. When it comes to India, unfortunately, there is no work experience required if you want to be a part of IIMs or something of that sort, which is grossly, I do not believe why that is so, in a way, because ISB as a whole requires 2 years of work experience minimum. They work on an abroad, model altogether. I personally believe even if you don't want to do 2 years, 1 year is something in the corporate industry which you ideally have to do, because understand that course is meant for professionals. So, there might be some topics which you guys won't be able to relate if you are a fresher. So if you want to, utilize that course in a proper way, do not look at that 1 year work experience. And a lot of people tell me that waste ho jayega wo year. It's not wastage. It's one of the most important year of your life where you're working, exactly applying your conceptual understanding. So, in practice. So that's why it's very important and essential to at least have 1 year work experience for doing MBA. Please guys understand. Mahi is asking me, how viable is a degree in luxury and tourism management or hospitality management in Switzerland? What is a way road for a person having a technical degree? It's perfectly fine. If you are having a technical degree, you can do a master's in tourism management or master's in, I would say, hospitality management courses are very famous in Switzerland. You can do that. Lausanne School of Hospitality, very famous. I would say HTMI करके भी है Switzerland में, very famous for hospitality management. But unfortunately in Switzerland, they have internships. Stay back opportunities are little lesser. They do not have stay back. So after the completion, you need to come back. But they teach very well. They teach very well. So in case you want to come back, you have your established hotel business, or you want to start something, you can go for, in Switzerland to pursue that. You can even go ahead with New Zealand. You can go ahead with UK. Both the options are good if you want to work there. So in Switzerland, there are some schools where, they have this industry work experience as a part of the course. You can select that as well, so that, you get good exposure. Okay, Mahi. I hope I have cleared your queries. A lot of queries. 1 second. Jay has asked, for a finance graduate, is there any better option than MBA? Your comment on ACCA. ACCA is good. It's well recognized. It's an accounting related course in UK. I would say it's a UK based course. So better masters karo, masters in finance, masters in financial engineering. It's a quantitative finance course. Then masters in financial risk management, masters in investment banking. Lot of options. Masters may you can do. Later you can do MBA. ACCA can be done simultaneously along with masters. In case you want to do ACCA over here only, you are in a UK based company where ACCA is something which will add value, you can do ACCA. Not an issue. And you can even go for UK Masters in Finance and simultaneously do ACCA. That also will add a good value. Sparsh, which country is best for data science? Is UK a good option? No, not really. Data science, US. Very, very good. Germany, you had asked about Germany as well. So Germany is also good. US is also good. UK can be the third option, what I can tell. Okay, Kevin, Jani, but yes, if you want something like an exposure, see UK, why people do go ahead is good exposure, 1 year less duration ka course, little cheaper, so exposure chahiye altogether, so then it is fine. But famous nahi hai, data science is not very, very famous over there, I would say. Kevin is asking, after gaining some work, some experience, let's say in Europe or US, how easy is it to start a business, or which country is very business friendly for immigrants? Very good question, Kevin. What happens is that you have to do work at least for 2 to 3 years. After gaining, as you have said, work experience is very important. Then, based on the relevant contacts, networking, you will understand the laws and rules on how you can open a business in that particular country, and you can start your business. That's not an issue at all. When it comes to business friendly, all countries are good. I have students who have started it, but they usually start it along with their job first. They just set the base, because to stay in that country is also a little expensive, so you can't be just letting go of your income overnight. You need to set your business first along with job. Then once it is set, then accordingly you need to grow it further. But all the countries are good when it comes to business. It's just that some work experience is important, because then only you will make a relevant contact circle, networking, what is required and essential for the business. Okay, Kevin, I hope I have cleared the doubt. What are the... Yeah, Shreyas is asking, what are the major scholarship awarded for graduate students wanting to pursue masters in data science, computer science? Major scholarships, as I said, there are two type of scholarship usually. One is a merit-based scholarship, where based on the profile, based on the GRE score, or based on your complete pointer, they will be giving you scholarships because they are wanting you in that university, wanting you to be a part of that university. So merit based bhi mil sakta hai. And secondly, there is, you apply separately. There are a lot of institutions, like for example, Cornell and Tata, they are collaborated. Tata gives, scholarships to international students who are from India, like specifically India, and they do give that. So you have to apply separately. So there are like that lot of scholarships. Even Columbia has it. Columbia also has specifically for Indian students. They have scholarships. So separate applications रहता है because these universities are funded by some or other Indian. Okay, so they give scholarship. So you can apply for that as well. As I previously also said, 25 to 30% is what you can expect. 100% your profile needs to be that good. Matlab, see, you would have heard that Stanford has offered 100% scholarship to farmer's son. So that doesn't mean that he had applied. Stanford would have called him samne se that, you come and study in our college. In spite of the circumstances what you have faced, you have still done so good. You have done the research which is very, very essential, which is very good, and something which is path breaking, and hence Stanford has invited that student. So unless and until your profile is to that level, then 100% is also possible. But then you can expect on a, like, even for a very good student, 25 to 30% is what you can expect. Bhuvana is asking me, after finishing, how many levels in CFA can you get a good reputed job? Can I do CFA after my BSc? Yes, you can. CFA is an adjoining degree. Okay, it's an add-on degree. What you are doing in your work will, have a better impact rather than doing CFA. So it will help you increase your knowledge base through which you can do good job, good work. So it's not about 2 levels clear karlu. Now I'll try for some other, this thing so I can get a job. It is there. Obviously, I'm not saying that the degree does not hold great value, but do it along with job and do good work as well. So that will, add additionally good weightage in your CV, because you will be working better. And additionally, you will be clearing good 2 levels or 3 levels of CFA. And then you will be going to maybe equity research or maybe asset management company. So then the chances for you to get a good job is better. Okay, so I would say 2 levels, just to answer your query, 2 levels. Second level is very important. If you clear that along with good work, you can get a good job. I'm still interested in animation. How would you suggest me the combo of pharmacy along with animation? I understand pharmacy ke baad you please do certain internship or, some work in animation itself. So you understand that whether it's your hobby or you want to pursue your career in it. So do some work experience. You will understand that whether I'm interested or not. And based on that, take a call and take a degree. Study properly some, some of from some of the good schools, how animation is done, if you are interested. A lot of people feel that, for example, yesterday only I had a counseling where the student is really interested in travel and tourism. But can we make a career out of it? I asked him, I don't want to make a career, I'm very interested. So that's two different stories. That one is where it's your hobby, and second is where, you want to make a career out of it. So if you're really good at animation, you can definitely do it. Then take a work experience. That is my entire, suggestion. Henna is asking me, having 3 years of work experience and then doing MBA in marketing and management, which country is better with respect to job prospects? US, UK, France, Australia. I would say US, UK, very good. Global degree, you get job, very good jobs. Try to target the best university. France and Australia. Even France is very good if you do it. So all depends on the university you are targeting, Henna. So if you are doing UK, you are doing from London Business School, I'm sure you will get very good jobs anywhere in the world. If you're doing it from Cambridge and Oxford, you can do it. Like if you're doing US, you can do it from Wharton or Kellogg. Definitely jobs make sense. Like France, if you do it from HEC, Paris, INSEAD. So it all depends on the university you are targeting. Uh, Australian B schools are okay, but if you are really interested to be the citizen in Australia, PR friendly country, then Australia. If you want more something like global, then US, UK, France. So one, US, UK, France, and Australia. Just a suggestion, target a good university. You automatically, the job prospects would be better. There are a lot of doubts. Oh my, 1 second. Guys, let me know if you need the first free abroad counseling session. If you need a career counseling session, I will be just writing my number over here. You can have an online counseling, not an issue. Just give me a call. I will definitely, help you. Where was I? 1 second. Yeah. Sparsh is asking, many colleges have waived off GRE for Jan 2022 intake. What are the chances for the same to happen? Many nahi. Some colleges are waived off for Jan 2022, and the chances for that in September 2022 is nil. So please give your GRE exam, guys. Do not give your GRE. Do not even think that you don't want to give GRE for September 2022. Start your preparation. You can give it by October. GRE is very essential for scholarship. GRE is very essential for overall profile. 30% good weightage is given by US universities into GRE. Please make sure you give GRE exam for September 2022. Mahi is asking me, like you earlier mentioned about MIM, a course we can pursue without prior. Is it degree worthy degree in comparison to MBA? Considering I want to switch my field to tech, from technical to more managerial centric role without pursuing a technical job post my degree. You can pursue MIM first. I would suggest that you pursue because you do not have any, management related experience. So that will help you gain a little knowledge about the same. Work for 2-3 years and then you can do MBA. If there is a need, see, it can be not compared. MIM and MBA is not compared. It's not comparable at all. MBA stands way above than MIM because MBA is altogether, you will be meeting people from different industry. The work as well as the, I would say, the education which is imparted in MBA is too good. Too good. It will just change your personality. But when it comes to MIM, it is good for people like you who is completely wanting a switch. So MIM in your case will make sense, Mahi. Okay, you can definitely do it. Work for 2-3 years, you can then, based on demand, how your work is, you can decide whether you want to do MBA or not. Okay. So GRE is not required in UK, but does having a good score give any added advantage? No. In UK, it does not give any added advantage. If you're planning for UK, do not give GRE, please. In case you're planning for business schools, then GMAT may add value. But if you're planning, I think you are a technical guy. So, you are asking about data science and everything, Sparsh. So then I do not think GRE will make sense in your case if you're planning for UK. Okay. Henna Kuvadia is asking, any top MBA schools that allow students without GRE, GMAT? Yes, Australia. UNSW, ANU, they do not require GMAT, GRE, and they are the top B schools in Australia. Only Melbourne Business School requires a GMAT. Rest, lot of universities, lot of good universities, B schools in Australia do not require GMAT, GRE. Again, work experience is something which is essential. That goes without saying. Rest, all the universities all over the world requires a GMAT. A good school, a decent school requires a GMAT. Henna is asking me, and is it okay if we give GRE over GMAT for MBA courses? Yes, it is okay, but prefer GMAT. They prefer GMAT over GRE. So it's not much of a difference. It's just that GMAT is little difficult. I agree on the quants part. I understand that. But for MBA courses, they prefer GMAT. It's a pure, even the website name is www.mba.com. So that is the preference they give. So prefer GMAT. So there are a lot of engineers who feel GMAT can become tough. They've already given the exam. They're unable to score. Then I recommend them to give GRE. Otherwise, GMAT is something which is preferred. Zalak is asking me, which master's courses can we do in India and then go for jobs abroad for jobs? Masters, first of all, in India itself is a very, redundant concept, which hai nahi, masters as such. So, and you do not get jobs very easily abroad after taking a degree in India. It's not something which is very easy that let me apply to a company in Canada, sitting in India, and I will get the job offer. It's never like that. It's very difficult. Usually people take at least 2 to 3 years work experience in a multinational company in India. Then they give secondments where you are placed in Canada, where you are transferred to USA. So then, it gets a little easy. Otherwise, it's not easy to get a job abroad. It takes a lot of efforts. So ideally, if you want to work abroad, do masters in that country only. Then it will make sense. You get a student visa where you can work. Okay. Colleges for innovation management. So the other name is technology management. The other name for innovation management, I would say engineering management is also one of the different name for it. Kevin. So I think you had only asked about MEM before. So colleges is, as I said, Dartmouth, Columbia, Duke, US mein, UK mein there is Southampton, there is Cardiff, lot of universities for engineering management. MEM is there, prevalent. Leeds may also there is engineering management. So these are some of the top universities. Technology management, MEM, innovation management, almost similar. कुछ ज्यादा difference नहीं है, थोड़े बहुत modules में difference होता है. Ishika is asking, can you please give comparison between MBA from IIMs and colleges in US that offer MIM? What should I go in for? Very different comparison. See, understand, it depends on where you want to work. If you are wanting to work in India and you have got an IMA, please hands down go for IMA. And if you want to go for USA, work there, get the entire abroad exposure. So then you can go for MIM in US. It all depends on where you want to work. So in India, IIMs is considered very good. You get very good jobs after that. So if you're getting that, please go ahead with that. But to crack IIM is a little difficult. If you think that, you have that capability and you can study CAT and you are willing to work hard, please go ahead with IIM. So my answer to this question is, ma'am, so to work in India, it's always better to study in India. It all depends. Like in case you want an abroad exposure and then come back to India, so that can also be a thing. So then abroad, work abroad, study abroad, work at least for 2 to 3 years, and then come back to India. So that it's all about how, what kind of requirement you have. So in case you feel that I want to work in India, come what may, मैं एक साल भी वहां रहूंगी नहीं, immediately आ जाऊंगी, then better study in India if you are getting a good college. Please guys, there's one very important thumb rule for studying MBA in India. Do it from a good college, otherwise don't do it. That is the whole thing. Do it from the top 10 colleges in India. Otherwise just skip it. Go for MIM, go for doing masters abroad, work there, come back. But do not ever compromise the MBA college, whatever you are pursuing it from, the ranking of it, the reputation of it. Do not. The top 10 is easily available. I will just name if you want. IIMs, ISB, NMIMS is also good. SP Jain, Sidnam, Jamnalal Bajaj, MDI Gurgaon, FMS. ये सब में मिलता है तो ही, वरना वेलिंगकर तक भी आप मत जाओ. Please do not. The return on investment is very bad. Understood? Any further queries? Okay, I just understand for the fact that students are quite confused over here. We should have a session often. Anyways, yeah. So Rohan is asking me, could you suggest any product management related postgrad courses abroad? Product management, as in, there are courses for product management. What exactly have you done in your undergrad, Rohan? For product management, what have you done?
So I'm working in a product management field right now. I have done BTech and then MBA. I'm thinking of pursuing something beyond that.
Okay, so usually product management is one of the job opportunity. There is never a master's in it. So you can, if you want to become a product manager, then it's a job opportunity. It's one of the, what do we say, position, product manager. You are a product manager wherein you are handling the complete, product. So there's hardly any masters. I've seen 1 or 2 universities only. Usually MEM can be done.
No, because I did find some, like there was in Carnegie Mellon, there was one in New York University. I was thinking if there could be
has
more.
Product management?
They have a brand management, which has some sort
brand
of.
Management is very different from product management. You are a technical guy, so I personally believe MEM. If you are more into IT, then you can do something called as MIS. Then you end up becoming a product manager. So MIS or MEM can be good for you. It's a position. Hardly there are any courses for product management. It's a position. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Any further queries, guys? Should we end the session right now? So guys, I'll just give my number again to you. Any questions you have later as well, you can message me, or you can have the first free abroad counseling session with me. In case you're overall confused about your career, you can have the career counseling session wherein I can understand a lot of aspects about your future goal, what you should ideally be doing. When it comes to abroad counseling, it is strictly related to abroad, where I will be suggesting. So hence it's free. Later for the process we charge. And it can be easily be done over Zoom. So maximum of our counselings happen over Zoom. Otherwise, my office is located at Vidya Vihar, if you know Ghatkopar, which is also quite near to Powai. So in case you want to come down and meet me in my office, that is also perfectly fine. But a call first is something which would be suggested. Okay. Any further queries you have anytime, you can let me know. This is my number, and have a good Sunday.
I'll put the number in the WhatsApp group as well. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for this session. It was very insightful. I would also request everyone to fill up the attendance form. It's given in the chat. I'll just put the link again. So just please fill that up.
Okay. So I'll end the session.
Thank you so much.
Most
Thank you
welcome.
so
Most
much.
welcome. It was utter pleasure to talk to all of you. Wonderful doubts. I have taken a lot of webinars, but the doubts were very intellectual. So I didn't find a single doubt to be silly, I would say. So very intellectual crowd overall, and all the very best for your future ahead.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank
Most
you.
welcome, everyone. Most welcome. Bye. Take care. Have a good
Bye.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining. Before you leave, I'll just request you all to turn on your cameras. We'll just take one picture. Just for 1 second, just everyone just turn on your camera if possible. I'm seeing still many off cameras. Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking him. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, if you have any more events you want to take part in, any more webinars, just reach out anytime and we'll keep conducting such sessions. There are various kind of sessions. I guess in the start of the meeting also you might have noticed. So if you even wish to be part of our club, reach out to us on the WhatsApp group, and you can find the admins. You can just text us, and further we can associate you with the Rotaract Club. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
guys for being a part of this event and taking out your time on a Sunday. And hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much.